Hello everyone, today we are going to solve Leetcode problem number 1342, numbers of step to reduce a number to 0. The statement of problem is given an integer num, return the number of steps to reduce it to 0. In one step, if the current number is even, you have to divide it by 2, otherwise you have to submit 1 from it. Okay, so this is very simple and easy Leetcode problem. The statement of according to the problem statement, we have an input integer represented by the nums, and we have to reduce that integer to 0, but we have to do this procedure step by step. So we can't reduce the num integer directly to 0, so we have to take some steps to reduce that num integer, which is our input, to 0. So what are those steps? We will take those steps according to the num integer. So if our integer or number is even, so we have to divide it by 2. So as we know that even are those numbers that are divided by 2, so we will check if the num is even, then we will divide it by 2 to reduce the number, and if the number is odd, then we have to subtract 1 from that number. So we have to take step by step. So here let's explore this example number 1. So according to the example, we have the input num, which is equal to 16, and we have to return the output. Okay, so in this statement, in this problem, what we have to return is we have to return the number of steps which we have to take to reduce that number to 0 according to these steps or these rules. Okay, so if we have integer is equal to 14, then we have to take 16 steps to reduce this 14 to 0. So let's explore that what we have to do is 14. So first of all, we have 14. So according to the statement, we will check if the number is even or odd. So 14 is even, and according to the statement, if the number is even, then we have to divide it by 2. So we will divide 14 by 2, and after dividing by 2, this will become 7. Okay, so this is one step. Now in the other step, next step, we have now nums, or the new number is equal to 7. Now we will take 7 and we will check if this number is even or odd. So here, as we can see that 7 is odd. So if the 7 is odd, then according to the statement, if we have the number odd number, then we have to subtract 1 from it. So we will subtract 1, and after subtracting 1, 7 become 6. Okay, so now in third step, we have 6, and 6 is even number, so we will again divide it by 2, and we will obtain 3, which is again an odd number. And for the odd number, we have to subtract 1 from that, and we will get 2, and 2 is even number, so we will divide 2 by 2, so we will get 1. But we have to reduce the number to 0. So now we get 1, but we will take one more step to reduce this 1 to 0. So 1 is odd number, subtract 1 from this one, so we will get 0. Okay, so now we will count the number of steps. So here we can see that we have to take 6 steps to to convert this 14 to 0, or to reduce these nums to num input 14 to 0. So here we will output 6, which is the number of steps. So here in example 2, we have a number 8, and we have to take 4 steps to reduce this number to 0. So we will return 4 as an output. Okay, so here this is example 1. Example number 3. So in example number 3, we have this number, and after reducing the number to 0, we will return 12 as an output step to reduce 1 2 3 to 1 2 3 number to 0. Okay, so according to this constraint, we have the number, we will have always have the positive number. Okay, and the number could be greater or equal to 0, and smaller or equal to 10 raised to power 6. Okay, so 0 could be any case that the number is already 0, and in that case we know that if the number is 0, and according to the statement, we have to return we have to reduce it to 0. So it means that we don't have to take any steps, and we in 0 steps we can convert the number to 0. Okay, so now let's move it to solution. Here I am using Python 3 language. The solution is very simple and clean solution. Okay, so first of all, I will initialize a variable in which I will store the number of steps. So, okay, so you can use any name. I am using number of steps here. I will count the number of steps to reduce a input number to 0. Okay, and I'm initializing it with the 0. Okay, in the next statement, as we can see that we have to do this process more than once. Okay, so we have to do again and again and again until we get the output 0. So it means that if we want to do some process again and again, or we want iteration, then we use loops. So here I am using loop, and I am using while loop, and this while loop will run till the number, this integer number, become greater or equal to 1. So if the number is greater or equal to 1, it means that we have to continue our process, because we have to reduce the number to 0. And when this will become 0, and so this while loop will not run, because the condition will be not true and it will stop. Okay, so we have to run until our number is greater or equal to 0. Okay, so now let's move what will be the functionality of this while loop. So in while loop we will use different conditions. If condition means, first of all, according to the statement, that we have to check two condition on the number, that if the number is even or the number is odd. Okay, so first of all we will check if our num is even. Okay, so first of all we are writing the code for to check and the if the number is even or not. Okay, so here I'm using modulus, and this is the condition. As we know that if we took the modulus of any number with 2, and if that number will be even, then the modulus will be equal to 0, and if that number will be odd, then a modulus will not be equal to 0. So here we are using this condition to check if the number is even or not. So if the number will be even, then this condition will be true, and if this condition will be true, then what we have to do is we have to divide our number by 2. So here we have this input number. Okay, and if the condition will be true, if our number is even number, then we will simply divide this by 2. Okay, and in the second condition, if the number will not be even, so it is obvious that the number is odd. So okay, in the odd condition we know that we have to subtract from the number, so we will use simple this statement num minus 1. Okay, so according to the statement, if the num will be odd, so we will reduce or subtract one number from it. Okay, so in every iteration, we also have to count the number of steps. We can't forget that. So in iteration here, we have to increment the number of steps by 1. Okay, so it will until our number will be greater or equal to 0, it will check these two conditions. One of these condition will always be true, and after checking this condition, it will increment the number of steps. Okay, so after that, what we will do, we will simply return number of steps after the iteration. After our number will become 0, then this while loop will not run, and we will return simple the number of steps we have to take to convert this input number to 0. Okay, so now let's run this and check if this is working fine. Okay, so according to these test cases, all three test cases are accepted, and our generated output is same as the expected output. So now let's try to submit this and check if this solution run on all test cases or not. Okay, so here this solution is running on all the test cases. So that was today's problem. I hope you like the video, so please like my video, and we will meet in another video. Goodbye.